so I see here your name is Jan. Is there a name that, another name you prefer? Is that fine?
Jan.
Okay, so before we begin, I just wanted to go over the consent form that you signed, that we both signed. So first of all, I am a student intern, a social work intern, so I'm not a professional yet. So as a student, I cannot offer any form of legal confidentiality, but whatever we discuss here stays here. And the only reason why I would have to share that information is if you're in a danger of harming yourself or harming others. If I see that there's signs of abuse or neglect towards a child or an older adult. And if this will also be shared to my professor just for educational purposes, but it's not going to be shared with anyone else, and your personal information will be hidden. This is also recorded, so if there's at any time you're uncomfortable with it, just let me know. And throughout this interview, I want you to decide what's best for you. This is not me just telling you what to do or giving you the right answers. I want to hear what you think. You're the person that knows more about yourself. So I think that you could also share what you want to share. If there's anything you don't want to answer, it's fine. So is that everything? You agree with everything there? All right. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Let's see, your age, your background.
So my name is Jan. I am 44 years old. I'm married, about 26 years in a few months. I have 4 kids. 2 are adults and 2 are still like middle school and high school. My background is we're Hispanic, we're Puerto Rican. My family moved to the United States many years ago, maybe 30 something years old. I was 8 years old when we moved, so I've been here practically all my life. I'm a teacher right now. I'm teaching. I also do speech therapy and tutoring. We go to church. What else?
Oh, yeah, no, that's awesome. If there's any question that you're uncomfortable with, please let me know. The questions that we will be asking can be very personal. So if at any moment you don't feel like answering, we don't want to force you to answer anything. And if you see me looking down, I'm just writing notes so I can remember what we're talking about. I want to be able to have a good understanding. So are you experiencing or have you experienced any developmental or physical disabilities?
No.
All right. And how did you get here?
Well, I was referred by a friend because she was going through some stuff, and she said that therapy or talking to somebody really helped. So I thought I looked into it.
Oh, and what would you say the reason is that you are here?
So I've been going through some like emotions and things like that, and sometimes I feel good, and then a lot of times I feel like down and stuff like that. And so for a few months now, it's been on and off. So I want to know if it's just me or am I going through something, and I don't know, just to talk about it, to see somebody else's perspective maybe.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to hear that. You're not feeling your best or how you would expect to feel. Can you tell me when this problem started for you?
So I would say I don't know, this year maybe, a few months now. Mm-hmm. Close to 6-ish months maybe, like 5-6 months.
Okay. And was there anything occurring at that time that you would say would have caused it, or anything that you think helped start it?
Well, I think it's maybe finances, lack of finances, or and maybe some like stress. I was really stressed. I can remember at work, beginning of the year too, and so that plus the finances, it just I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And would you say that has anything in your life that you would, anything in your daily routine change because of the way you're feeling?
Yes. Well, I work, right? Because I have to work. But like after work, I just feel like not doing anything. I just want to sit there and relax and just not do anything else. I cook or clean or I don't know, go somewhere. I just want to stay home and sit. And then I know, like, and then it's like a guilty feeling that I'm sitting and not doing anything when I should, you know, I could clean or I could go out or I could do something, and I don't want to. I just want to do nothing.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that you don't, like after work, you just lose like motivation to do things, and then when you don't do those things, you feel like you're not being productive enough.
Right, exactly.
Is there, have you noticed anything at work that's been, like any different behavior at work, now that you've been feeling this way, or do you feel like you work in the same way?
No, I work in the same way, but I feel like I get frustrated quicker, you know, like, or stressed out more than usual.
All right. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationships with your family members?
Like,
And your family background, and then your family.
okay. No, we have a good relationship with my mom and my dad, even though they're divorced, but we get along fine on both sides. We talk almost daily. And with my siblings, the same. We all get along. And then in my house with my husband and my kids, we get along, you know, usual things that might come up, you know, with kids or the husband or things like that, but I don't think it's major. We don't have like major issues with that.
Okay. And you said you had 4 children. You have 4 children, and you've been married for 16 years, or 26 years?
26, almost 26.
Okay. And can you tell me about your personal history? So anything, just like your story, your personal story.
Well, we had a good childhood growing up. You know, my parents were together, my siblings. I would say like just typical, well, maybe now it's not that typical, but my parents were married for a lot of years, and we all lived together. We went to church. We were very close. I would say we had a good, I had a good childhood upbringing, even when we were teenagers, you know. And then I got married, and everything was fine as well. Nothing major like that. The only, I think, major shock maybe was my parents' divorce, but I was already married. But again, you know, we worked through that, and now we all get along, so it was good.
Okay. And how would you say your mental health has been in the past? Like any mental health, any history of mental health, yourself, your family?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. Any substance abuse in the family, or that you know of in yourself?
Not like close families. Not my parents ever. They never smoked or drank. My siblings, you know, no.
Have you ever had any medical issues in the past, or any past diagnosis or anything?
No.
Like that? Okay. Any medical problems in your family, or any issues that you can think of?
Like medically? No, just my grandparents, my grandfather, my mom's side, and my grandmother, my mom's side, just, Alzheimer's when they were older, but major issues like that or medical, nothing major, I would say.
That's good. Okay. And can you tell me about your educational history?
So, yeah, I went to college, I studied for speech therapy. I did that for a few years. Well, for many years. I think next year is going to be 20 years that I graduated from college. And so right now I've been teaching for 3 years and doing speech part-time.
Okay. And how was it for you in high school? Like, would you say you were an average student or?
I would say, yeah, average. I wasn't like failing or I never had F's. But I didn't have like straight A's and everything either. It was like A student.
Yeah. And would you say you had many friends in high school, college?
No, I didn't. I wasn't like popular like that. I had a friend or two, people that you talk to, but maybe like a best friend, maybe one. And then in college, I did have friends like that because we had the same group going through all the classes. So we got along and did group projects together, but they were like personal friends like that from every day.
Yeah. Okay. And did you ever have any difficulty learning or any learning disabilities or anything
No.
that kept you? Okay. And now, how would you describe your social class growing up and even now?
So growing up, we didn't have like a lot. We have a big family, and my dad was the only one working. I mean, maybe like lower class, but I mean we always had everything we needed. Maybe my family, I believe they had some type of government assistance, and then after I got married and stuff, my husband had a good job, so we had everything we needed, maybe a little bit more. And now I would say even though we maybe middle class, but maybe I think we're going into a little lower because everything's so expensive now, and it seems like we've been living like from paycheck to paycheck. So it's been quite a journey to learn after you haven't been used to that.
Yeah.
So it takes time to get used to.
And that's understanding. It's not always an easy transition either. So can you tell me a little bit about your culture? I know you mentioned you're Puerto Rican, Hispanic. So how has that played a part in your life? Like, do you follow any traditions? How is that in your community right now?
No, I think our culture has played a big part in our life. We are Hispanic, we're Puerto Rican, and we do keep traditions, but we don't have to. I feel like we are not doing everything that the culture is doing either. Just because we belong to that culture doesn't mean we do everything like they do, But yeah, culture, I think, plays a part, in everybody, but just you have to pick and choose what about your culture, you want to implement into your life. So, I think the biggest part is speaking the language, staying with the language, maybe, the food and all that stuff, but culturally, I wouldn't say like we do something major that we have to do things a certain way, just because we are from that culture.
And how do you feel in your current community with your culture? Like, do you feel like how would you say the community has accepted you for your culture? Do you feel like pushed away, or how do you feel?
No, I think I feel fine. I mean, especially here in Florida, where there's a lot of people of the same culture. So I think everybody just, it's we don't feel like rejected, or actually we feel more like a majority than a minority here, because everybody speaks the same language or have the same cultures, comes from the same place. Whereas in Massachusetts, where we used to live, um, you feel like a minority because where we used to live, it was there was hardly any Hispanics. So there you feel like, okay, you have to act a certain way or do things a certain way. But here you feel maybe too much immersed in the culture.
Okay. I know religion can play a big part in cultures as well. So how would you describe if you have a faith, or what do you believe in? Do you have any spiritual beliefs? Do you practice any spiritual rituals or attend like church or anything else?
See, we were raised in church, and even my parents, they weren't raised in church, but since an early age, they were introduced to the gospel, and so that has been like a big part of our lives, going to church more than once, just not just on Sundays, but we go frequently, and we serve, we volunteer. So in our family and in our culture, that has played a major role.
And what kind of church do you attend, or like denomination, or?
So we go to, I would say evangelical gospel or Pentecostal, I guess we could say. Um, yeah, that's mainly even from my grandparents, my parents, and I think that's a denomination, I guess, that we refer to.
Okay. And how does that affect your daily life? Like, how would you say that your faith plays a role in your daily life, or it's just like when you're at church, or how would you describe it?
No, I think that's a way of living, So once you have Christ, then that's not something that you do, but something that you live out. So you live it out everywhere. And I am blessed to be able to work at a school where, it's a faith-based school, it's a Christian school. So I'm able to live it out even fully at my workplace. I don't have to hide, or I don't have to, not talk about it. Actually, they encourage us to talk to the kids about their faith. So I think, it helps, during the day as well, in our workplace, that everybody has the same mindset and faith.
And it's awesome to hear that you're able to practice your faith and share your faith and live it out in your workplace, because that's not very common. So it's awesome that you're able to motivate others in that too. How would you say you feel today? Like when you came in, what are you feeling?
So today I was feeling good. We went to a women's event and all. But then towards the end, when I was getting out, it was like all those emotions wanted to creep in again. Like look, there's a lot of people, but you don't know anybody, or you were at this event, and now, like, like they were saying that sometimes like you have to grab a hold of that message, because the enemy comes to steal that seed. And I felt like at the end, like the enemy wanted to steal whatever message of like a positive message and of encouragement, wanted to steal that away. And so I was trying to fight those emotions again, of the feeling sad, feeling like rejected or alone, or lack of motivation, because I had a plan when I get home, I'm going to do this and that. And so it was kind of like that was wanting to come back to take all that away from me.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Have your thoughts ever gotten to a point where you feel like harming yourself or anything to that sort?
No.
Okay. And have you had in the past 2-3 weeks difficulty sleeping, weight loss, difficulty eating?
No.
None? Okay. And would you say that you are forgetting things easily, lack of concentration?
Mm, maybe once in a while I'm forgetting things, but not like on an everyday basis.
And is there anything that are there any goals or anything you had in mind that you wanted to get out of the treatment, out of the therapy sessions?
I would say like something that you had said before, like if there's a pattern, I guess, on when I'm feeling this way, or when are those emotions, when is it when those emotions come more often, if there's something triggering that, or if there's a particular time or event that triggers those thoughts.
Okay. So basically, like to pinpoint what the triggers are, your triggers. Okay. And once you, let's say, you figure out what those triggers are, what's something you would like to see after pinpointing what that is? Is there any other goals you have with finding what they are?
Well, I haven't thought about like goals, but maybe that's a good idea to come up with how to avoid that, or how to work through whatever's causing that, whatever's triggering it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when it comes to these goals and the things you want to take out of these sessions, how would you say you are? Would you say that you are motivated, or would you say that like you're willing to put in effort? Because when it comes to these sessions, it's we believe in self-determination, that you are in charge of your life, and I'm here to help and support, but ultimately you're the one who has the control over your decisions. So how would you say you are, and how are you feeling when it comes to change?
I feel motivated. I feel like that's a good idea to set those goals and see and work through them to see if we can get to work through them, I guess.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's not always easy to accept change, and so the fact that you're able to make that decision and you seem motivated is a great strength. And I appreciate you sharing all this information about your family, about your experiences. I know it's not always easy to share all this personal information, but I'm proud of you for doing that, and it's great to see that you're motivated for change. Now I hope to meet with you in the next week, and we can discuss how we can further explain how these goals will be working. And it was great having you, and I hope to see you soon.
Well, thank you so much.